welcome to your October monthly intuitive readings. My name is Romy Wyser. If you are coming back to the channel, thank you so much, and if you're new, then welcome. Please make sure you go ahead and hit subscribe so you don't miss any future updates from me. So this is a general overview for the month of October. So if you're a Leo sun, rising or moon, then the messages may resonate for you. Once you've finished watching the reading, you'll also have the opportunity to join me for the extended. To do that, you just need to click on the downward arrow that's next to the video description, and it will give you the link directly to my website, romywyser.com. The extended reading is around 20 minutes additional insight, and we also have some specific messages for those of you in relationships looking for love with a focus on career, and also a message to soothe your soul. So if the reading resonates, please do give me your feedback, drop me a like and a comment, and I look forward to sharing with you what's coming up. So let's go ahead and get started and see what's coming out in October for you, Leo. Thanks for tuning in. So we're into Libra season. We've got a beautiful new moon happening on the 28th that's bringing in harmony in terms of love, relationships, connections, and also helping to draw in more abundance. It's beautiful conversations taking place between Venus and Jupiter at that new moon. It's in third house activity for you. Libra season is all about third house, so it's about the way that you communicate. So it feels to me that this new moon is saying, ask for what you want, Leo. Be clear about it. Make sure you're expressing it from an authentic place. And move into that Libra season with an expectation of aligning to the vision that you're setting out for yourself. So we're beginning your October month with the 9 of Wands. And there's almost like a force to be reckoned with, I feel, with this energy. It's fire energy, so it's linking into your sign. And even though you may feel a slight sense of weariness, I think you're kind of battle ready for something as well. And, you know, when we talk about the way that you're expressing or communicating something, I feel that you are being asked to stand up for something in your world right now. And I think that that's important. I think you need to show yourself and those around you that you are committed to the vision that you have, or for what it is that you're asking for. And I think that the way that you choose to persist and show up and keep going regardless is really going to help to put you in a new light for some people around you, actually. I want to say there is some element of, I want to say, slight uncertainty with regards to situation coming out in that card for me, Leo. So let's see how that translates in the conversation as we continue. We have Mercury, planet of communication, moving into Scorpio on the 3rd of October. On the same day, we also have Pluto moving direct. Pluto has been retrograde since 24th of April. And it's moving through Capricorn, which has been in 6th house for you. So what's interesting is that I feel this period of introspection through the retrograde has all been about energetic boundaries for you, personal boundaries, and how that's impacting in your world. And I feel that actually, even when we link to that card and we look at all the wands that are surrounding the figure here, it's almost like you are placing boundaries around yourself. So where are you needing to stand up for yourself? I think, you know, both Saturn and Pluto moving through 6th house for you has been quite challenging as you address the routines, the structure, the order that you have in place in your world, how you put your own self-care and needs first, how you show up in terms of being of service, but getting the balance right as well, Leo, where you're not in a situation where you're over-giving, or you're feeling that your boundaries are not being honoured or respected. So we have King of Swords coming through. Now this could be an air sign that you're dealing with, Leo, Gemini, Aquarius or Libra. If this is about you, I feel that you're kind of in a no-nonsense energy, actually, as we begin October, I want to say. So there's some fight in you. There's some standing up for your beliefs, not taking no for an answer is what I want to say, between 9 of Wands and King of Swords. If you're coming up against this energy with the Nine of Wands, I think that there could be an aspect, I mean, you're looking in the opposite direction, okay? So maybe there's an opposing viewpoint. Maybe you're coming up against a blockage here and you're a little bit uncertain as to how to proceed, because I feel that maybe there's quite a sort of standoff or a stalemate kind of situation that might have arisen, or you've maybe just recently been through. But in Libra season, it's all about trying to find the point of balance, the point of equilibrium, and make sure that we see all sides of a situation and understand everybody's perspective. So I think from a spiritual place, you're also being given an opportunity, Leo, to look at something in a new way, in a fresh way. And, you know, Nine of Wands, sometimes when we get to that point in the journey where we feel quite weary, it is asking you, in order to get through that final challenge or that final hurdle, we might need to do something a bit different to shake it up and sort of remotivate ourselves. And I think that's going to help you to have a breakthrough where this King of Swords energy is concerned. But I think if it is linking into you as an energy, Leo, for me, it definitely feels that you're just... maybe you're feeling a little bit immovable in your perspective right now. But third house activity is all about thinking and thought. And with that air sign, you are linking directly in to a higher wisdom. You know, King of Swords brings a tremendous amount of experience and accomplishment and rational thinking that can really help you, and maybe you need that in some regards as well to temper what's going on. You know, Nine of Wands energy, he feels quite hot-headed here. If you look at the colours in the desert and all this red, almost like a sense of slight irritation, frustration coming through, even with the clenched fist here. So maybe that air energy is also just helping to temper something for you. Okay, so we have Mercury moving into Scorpio, and in that placement, planet of communication is quite deep and observing, and there's this drive to win and to succeed, and I think you need that with Nine of Wands energy as well, actually. So I think that's going to serve you quite well, because it's going to give you the impetus to just communicate in a way that really clearly states what it is that you want and what you're working towards. We have full energy coming in for you, so there is an opportunity for you to have some kind of fresh beginning, new start. There's a new cycle that's coming in for you, Leo, through this month of October. So Nine of Wands is saying persevere, because just around the corner we have this sense of liberation coming through. What's quite interesting with the new moon that's happening in Libra on the 28th of September, there's a conversation that's taking place with Uranus, and there's a little bit of a kind of unexpected quality that comes in around that. And I feel that that is going to help liberate you on some level, and also maybe give you the courage or the drive to just shake things up or to make quite a bold move somewhere. And maybe that King of Swords energy is helping that, either as a block or as a supporter, depending on kind of what's going on for you right now. Because I think as a block, the contrast, again, you're sort of moving away. I mean, there's both cards here, you're looking in the complete opposite direction. So I feel slightly more inclined to say that it's coming in as a block, and it's the contrast that's forcing you to say, okay, I want different for myself. I need to move in this direction, or I don't agree with you, or here's what I need, or here's what I'm looking for in my world. Okay, so we have full moon in Aries happening in October on the 13th. Now, the full moon in Aries is coming in your 9th house, Leo. So the focus for you, and this is quite interesting with the full energy actually, because the focus for you is around striving out, setting out in a new direction, adventure. There's a higher learning, which absolutely connects in with the King of Swords as well, in that kind of drawing down that wisdom and knowledge and discernment. But there's also foreign travel, that sense of like, you know, expanding your wings, expanding your horizon. And I think there is going to be maybe a bit of a restless quality that comes in with that full moon, where you're trying to release something that maybe feels slightly tiresome and you want to strive out and begin a new direction. So maybe some of you will be moving away from someone with this air energy, or couldn't, you know, it might not be an air sign. This could just be somebody that's representative of being quite closed off and quite shut down at the moment. Or it might be you're just looking to strive out on your own in terms of like your life path just now. And actually I feel for some of you there's some foreign travel that's coming up quite strongly in this reading. So I think you're going to be looking at visions or long-held sort of dreams or plans, you know, maybe even going as far as sort of considering like immigration or like moving to a different place or a different country. I think that will be on some of the minds of some of you, because as we move into Scorpio season, we're into 4th house activity, which is all about roots, house and home for you. And I think that there will be some changes coming up. I know that could be in a place of work, that could be in your own home, or a desire to make some kind of change in that part of your world. So Knight of Pentacles energy coming in. I like, because I think it's giving a grounded energy that's needed to kind of anchor what's coming up as we start October for you. So even where we have this opportunity to kind of take a completely new direction, and we need that impetus, that initiative, that drive to just burst forward and say, okay, here's what I want to do. But here your Knight comes in, and I think maybe for some of you it might feel like, I want to say a little bit like the wet blanket that says, all right, well, that's a fantastic vision, but you know, how are we actually going to make it possible? And you know, there's that part of you that says, I don't know if I want to have to kind of do all of that work. I just want to be there. I just want to be there now. There's that restless energy that comes in. But the Knight of Pentacles is saying, listen, this is not only realistic and achievable, but you have to put you have a part to play in this, which means that you have to be consistent and show up and do the work and commit to this new vision for yourself. If this is about a relationship and you have been feeling in like you're moving in opposite directions, and again, you know, I mean, this could be an earth sign you're dealing with here, a Virgo, Taurus or Capricorn, but again, we have them looking in an opposite direction. So I do think there's something coming through in October, Leo, about split energies. I will say that. And I think you'll come up against it in different ways depending on what you're going through. So this could be in and around personal relationships where you're having a difference of opinion, or, you know, looking to move in opposite directions, or, you know, it could be another part of your life where there's choices and decisions to be made. But for me, right at the centre of your reading, he is bringing a grounded quality in that says, actually, we can realise some of what you have in that hopes and dreams kind of part in your mind right now, if you bring the practical element into play here. And you know, we've got fire, we've got air, we've got earth here, and then all this beautiful water that's coming in with the Fool. So there's actually quite a nice elemental balance that's showing up already, which is beautiful as we're in Libra season. And there's like a kind of karmic readdressing that takes place, I think, you know, with Saturn now direct, Pluto moving direct on the 3rd, we had equinox on the 23rd. So everything is about release and rebalancing and sort of helping you to navigate this final stretch of 2019 to a place of victory, okay? So what happens when you apply yourself and when you do the work and you don't give up and you remain single-minded about what that vision is? Success. Success comes to you. You are victorious in your pursuit, okay? I think what you're going to have to navigate, Leo, is this push-pull energy that has the restless quality of I just want it now, I want it straight away, that impatience versus when you nurture something and you don't give in and you apply yourself daily. And remember, you know, we're talking about 6th house activity in Pluto and Saturn. Now, Pluto and Saturn conjunction in January 2020 is the big point of transformation. So in sixth house, this is absolutely about ritual, structure, order, boundaries, what give and take, how you're being of service, how you're showing up for yourself and others, self-care to support the vision that you have for yourself. So I think there's an awful lot to be learned and to be gained, and I think that Knight of Pentacles is coming in with a really strong message for you through this month of October to help you, Leo. So we move into Scorpio season from the 23rd of October. So fourth house activity is all around family and home. It's about that emotional connection as well. So there's that sense of maybe looking back toward our upbringing and our roots and, thinking about how we've arrived at this point, and really kind of assessing things as you set out your store for a new life cycle, I feel, Leo. Okay, and again, Three of Wands energy for me is linking so beautifully in with this Fool, and what we talked about with ninth house activity with the full moon. You are really looking to stretch your horizons and have new life experiences. There's a sense of adventure and a readiness to just feel and experience something completely different, something completely new. I think for some of the Leos through this month of October, you will be looking to really shake things up, and you're going to recommit or bring in new ideas and goals. And I think you're going to get very determined and sheer-minded about achieving them. Three of Wands, is also a beautiful card of just helping you to realize the potential within yourself. I feel that it is you drawing on your fire energy, drawing on the resources that you have, and really kind of stepping up, moving into that more leadership role. There's definitely a link coming into overseas with me for this reading for some of you. So I think that, whether you're connecting more with people in a wider capacity, or you are looking to literally spread your wings and experience more, have more cultural diversity come into your world, I think that's something that's coming up in this reading quite strongly for you today. But I love the Three of Wands coming in. I think it's giving you again that initiative and that drive and that motivation to really push through and move forward with something. For some reason, when I'm looking at this reading from a kind of personal relationships perspective, I do have a lot of figures in this reading that are not really looking toward one another. Back is turned, moving in one direction, moving in another direction, face on. No one's really connecting. So what I want to say is that for some of you through this month of October, you might struggle to feel like you're connecting with people properly. And I think that's why that third house communication theme is going to be really important. How is it that you need to change the way that you're communicating in order to feel more connected with the people in your life? But yeah, I'm not sure why this disconnect seems to be taking place. We'll see what else comes out around that for you, Leo. Venus moves into Scorpio as of the 8th of October. And in Scorpio, Venus, there's an intensity to this placement, okay? A kind of all or nothing. And remember what I said about you just having this quality of not really wanting to compromise, and it's sort of being only your way, but then people having, completely opposing views. And that makes it difficult with Venus and Scorpio, because actually we want to bond. There can be quite a possessive, even a jealous sort of streak that comes through with Venus and Scorpio. So if you are struggling with that sense of connection, maybe some of those themes are coming up for you. And if they are, it's because they're emerging to be healed within you, within the relationships that are present in your life, Leo. Okay, so Two of Pentacles energy coming in here is talking to me about you reprioritizing, having to be flexible, okay? So where we have you quite fixed and rigid, there's some quite rigid energies I feel that are coming in alongside a more restless, forward movement. So I think this push-pull is happening definitely for some of you. But the Two of Pentacles for me is talking about the sense of agility, the sense of needing to be adaptable, looking at the choices, looking at what's around you. You are going to be able to make things work, but it's going to take a little bit of tweaking. It's going to take you to maybe try 2 or 3 different approaches to something. Now, if this is about relationships, it could be that you need to come in on another level, and you need to try maybe more than once to communicate or be able to connect in to find that sort of resonance. I think that if you are weighing up choices, because remember, I feel like there's this almost opportunity for split paths that comes up in your reading, then weighing up those choices will, I feel, present you with maybe a slight sense of inner conflict. And that's probably because you know what you want, but maybe you don't want to do the work, or there's something about the work that's turning you off. But I want to say, like, don't give up on that. From a financial perspective, it's, you know, even if you are like trying to be careful or trying to manage things and juggle different resources, I actually feel I've got positivity coming through there with the Knight of Pentacles toward the Six of Wands. So I think that there's more positive energies coming in for you in that level, Leo. Okay. Right, so 7 of Wands energy coming through. I think this came up in your September reading as well, Leo. And I think this is honestly you needing to fight for what you believe in, needing to stand up, having to have the courage, and, you know, overcome the obstacles. I'm not necessarily seeing all these wands as people. Sometimes that comes up that way for me. But actually in this instance, I think that they are representing all of the challenges and the blockages that are either self-imposed or that are just around you in terms of either material restrictions, possibly with the Two of Pentacles, or, you know, just where you currently find yourself in terms of external influences that are stopping you from being able to get to where you need to get to. So again, you know, the connection of these figures is not really gelling or coming together. So I feel there's a sense of you thinking, maybe you feel unsupported in some way. You know, maybe you feel like you're having to go alone. You know, that full energy really is striking out on its own. But he's unafraid with that. So I want to say that even if you feel that way, you can't let it hold you back or stop you from being able to move forward. It's something about drawing on that inner resilience that's going to actually help you move through. 7 of Wands brings a tremendous amount of courage and bravery and fortitude to tackle whatever's coming your way, okay? And if you are up against this air energy, I feel like you're more than holding your own in regards to that. But there's a lot of ego-based conversation, like the narrative, I will say, between these 3 cards, you know, 6 of Wands, that sort of need to be right and coming at it from maybe not as high a spiritual place as you could, either the other individual or you, Leo. So I think that there's some real learning around communication and the way that you are exploring that theme through October. So just looking at outcome cards based on what's come up in your reading. 6 of Pentacles coming in for me. I think for those of you that are focused around work and security and finance particularly, this is boding really well. So do the work. Don't be afraid to you know, even though you might feel like you don't want to kind of show up consistently, actually it's in doing that and putting that structure and sense of order in place that you're going to receive. I think there's also a beautiful readdressing of the balance that's coming in with this. So if there's a situation that you feel is unfair or unjust in your world, I think that as you move through this month of October, there is some kind of opportunity to address that, okay? And remember, with Libra season, it's all about how you ask, how you communicate, what you feel, what you think. And I think that's really going to make the difference as to how happy and how comfortable you are in what is then given back to you or what's presented to you. So, you know, if you're in a place of work and you're wanting to be valued more, you're wanting to show up and you feel like you've put the work in and you want to see the recognition, I think communicating it in such a way that comes from a real place of alignment and balance is going to serve you really well. Even if you're coming up against some blocking energies, don't lose sight of what your vision is. Stand up for yourself and you are going to see the positive outcome for that. I think in relationships, it's also in Libra season about seeing the other's point of view, and really understanding that there are two sides and that there is a need for connection to come back in. But again, Six of Pentacles talks to me about somebody being more open and more generous with their time, their energy and their love. So I think that is what you are working towards as an outcome through this. Interesting. Okay, Three of Swords coming in as your outcome card. Now, for some of you, I think that this is you just coming to a truth, okay? Third house activity linking into number 3, I think coming to your own personal truth. Three of Swords, okay, it's never the most pleasant of energies, but it's really necessary sometimes because we just need to kind of cut through all the crap and really get to the heart of the matter. And that's what's going on here. You're literally getting to the heart of the matter over something. Now, maybe that does cause a little bit of upset or imbalance, okay? So maybe if you're not getting what you expected from this, maybe that's where the upset comes in. That's why I think the reading is saying it's so important that you look at what it is that you want and why, and you look at how you are connecting and bonding with people and your vision through this month. I actually think, though, for some of you, if you do put the work in, you have that vision and you've got that element of bold, you know, ready to take a risk. I think that the Three of Swords is actually just kind of coming in as a bit of a liberator and just cutting through what might be some of these obstacles. So, you know, it can come in quite a positive sense as well. I think on the relationship front, for some of you, of course, if you are having this difficult, challenging narrative or story unfolding, potentially there is some heartbreak or upset that's going to come in. Maybe you feel like you're just not receiving enough. Sometimes that Six of Pentacles can kind of come in on almost like it's breadcrumbs. You're giving me, but it's not enough. And if you're in that state of mind, in that lack mentality that says I'm not receiving what I need, then of course you're going to want to look in a different direction towards what you want. But regardless, I think that you are making some really strong, powerful, empowered choices through October, Leo, and I think that that's going to help honor your own spiritual path and growth. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull some oracles to see how they reflect what we've picked up today. Okay. So, interesting perspective. I think this really ties in beautifully with what we've been talking about, Leo. You know, when you are able to almost step outside of a situation and look at it from an observer perspective, and Mercury and Scorpio will help you to do that, by the way. They love that kind of observer, you know, slightly stepped back kind of view. It's going to let you see the whole entirety of the situation in a different way. I don't know, I look at these and I sort of feel like they're this amalgamation between kind of like a bird and a fish almost. So I want to see this quality of air and water that comes in along with all the yellow of your fire. And again, like I pick up quite a strong balance of elemental energies, what I think is missing is like the cohesion of you being able to bring together all of these different energies. So what is it that you need to do for yourself in October, Leo, to unite all these different parts of yourself so that you can come to a really clear, aligned perspective? I think that's what's coming through with this. But it's also going to help you to look at what's unfolding through this month and see that perhaps some of it is actually for your highest good, even if it does bring in some upset or some, disappointment or emotional wound. But remember, we're also going through a time where we're really having to purge and clear out a lot of old trauma energy. And so you might also just be moving through a cycle that's requiring you to let go and release sort of previous upsets to bring balance and restore harmony in your world so that you can actually refocus and allow this new beginning to come in, okay? So, a fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. Of course, we have full moon this month, so this is really pertinent to you, Leo. So whatever is coming up around that full moon is you're feeling passionate about, you're feeling vocal about it, you're expressing yourself, you want to be heard, you want to be seen, you want to be understood. But I think the intensity is also helping to clear something, okay? So where emotions run high and you are feeling like you have to step up and fight for something or prove something or show something, there's also a release that takes place with the full moon energy. Now, sometimes things can be revealed under full moons, there's that sort of surprising revelation quality to it. So maybe it's a little blindsiding you as well, which again is where that Three of Swords energy could come in. But again, I want to just remind you of this perspective card because I think it's important, and for me it's anchoring in the reading. And maybe that's what's going to have to take place so that we can then bring unity together with all of these cards and all of the elemental energies that are showing up in your reading. Oh, wow. Okay, get back to elemental. Of course, it makes perfect sense. How do we find that harmony within ourselves with all of these earth, water, fire and air, and all of them representing different parts of who we are, and we need them all to be able to express ourselves and to feel whole and to feel that sense of inner peace. So think about how these elementals are showing up for you and maybe where you need to rebalance them. Do you need to get out in nature more to ground your energy? Do you need to ignite the passion and get that fire moving? Is the air coming through and the need to express and look at how you communicate or bring new ideas, new perspective to come in? Or is it that water emotional energy that's saying you need to get in touch with, what's happening and get to the heart of the matter? So, I think that you can take that soul-searching moment through this month to really understand where that's leading you, Leo. Okay, I hope that has resonated for you with your month of October. If it has, you can go ahead and join me for the extended reading, Leo. I'm just going to pull some clarifying cards to see where this conversation is going to take us, and I'm quite interested for yours this month. Okay, so death could be dealing with a Scorpio energy coming in, certainly some transformation and change to happen. King of Swords, Knight of Cups. Could be a water sign, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancerian. Full energy coming in with Five of Coins. Okay. Eight of Wands is coming in with that Knight of Pentacles. Lots of messages and communication coming in. Six of Wands is bringing in the Four of Cups. Three of Wands, clarifying the Three of Wands, so interesting. I'm looking forward to exploring why this is so important for you, Leo. Okay, Two of Pentacles is bringing in the Fool again. This happens a lot when we do the clarifying, we'll
double the cards up because it's such a powerful message that needs to be presented to you. Beautiful star energy coming in. Happy to see that for you. Okay, so clarifying the Six of Pentacles, we have the Page of Pentacles. So finally, let's look at this Three of Swords. Ace of Wands. I think that's linking in strongly there with this. I'm just going to pull one more here. Queen of Wands. Okay, this could be you. I think it probably is Leo. It could be a Sagittarius or an Aries that you're dealing with as well. Right, there is some really interesting cards here for us to take this conversation a bit further. If you'd like to join me, just click on the downward link next to the video description. If it has resonated for you, please do go ahead, drop me a like and a comment. I really appreciate you tuning in. I look forward to catching up with you in November and sending you love and blessings for this month. Thank you.